Young People McMurray here. It is Friday. Welcome back to my channel. You may have noticed that I got a haircut. This was done at the request of my son, Jace. He calls it a shark haircut, and he wanted me to get done. I figured I might as well try it now since I won't be seeing very many people. So I had I didn't break the law or anything, didn't go to salons. Those are currently shut down in Ohio. We had a cousin who is a hairdresser. She came over and cut my hair. And cut Jace's hair, and obviously, as you can see in the picture, he looks way cooler than I do. But that's awesome because every day he reminds me that he's way cooler than me, and that's okay. That's okay. So I really don't want to talk my haircut though. I really wanted to just kind of catch up with you guys a little bit and see where your heads are at, because it's a crazy time we're living in. I'll admit it. It's a crazy time, and we're making history, right? We haven't had a pandemic like this in over 100 years. So it's definitely a lot to take in. And there was a moment last night where these bad storms went through Ohio and totally just like, we're just rocking my house, shaking my house with thunder and this bright flash of lightning. And my kids, all three of them, came running into my bedroom and were afraid, and understandably so. And there was a moment when that was going on where everything over the past few weeks just kind of hit me like a wave all at once. There was like a hurricane, or not hurricane, at least we've been spared of that. There was a earthquake in Utah. There were those tornadoes in Nashville over the past few weeks. And now we have this pandemic going on. And there was, like I said last night, this moment where it all came crashing in on me. And I felt some fear. And I haven't been afraid during this time. I really haven't. But for that moment there I was, and it just reminded me, all this reminds me of, that we really aren't in control. There are some things we can control, right? And I'll talk about that in a second. But for the most part, right, we aren't in control. And if you know anyone who's had a life-altering experience, maybe like an accident or dealt with a serious illness like cancer, you know that they'll tell you that feeling of hopelessness they get because they don't have control. And that's a scary, scary feeling. And that's where my faith comes in. And that's where I feel like being a Christian really, really helps me, because it grounds me and it gives me something to cling to, right? When times like this are going on. Now, I'm a blessed man, and I'm very thankful for the wonderful family I have and my friends. Shout out to those that are watching. I've been blessed my entire life. I am so thankful. But I remember in college, after my senior year, after my first big loss of the season, we won the first two games and we surprised some people. And I played really well in those first two games. But our third game, we had this team from California come in and they just totally beat us up. Beat me up. That was the last time I really played much. After that, I didn't play that much after that game. I had a bad game. But I remember our football coach, a guy named Mike Gardner, he came into the locker room and we were all really upset. And he said, "Men, we praise God in the sunshine and we praise God in the rain." And that's what we did. We just had a quick prayer, and he was upset. We were all upset. But I left that feeling some peace. And last night, after my kids came in the room and it started storming, and I just said a quick prayer, and then when that prayer was over, I felt peace. Now, whether or not you believe in God or you believe in Jesus or anything like that, at least the psychological part for me is helpful. But I obviously do believe in it, or I wouldn't waste my time praying. But now I want to talk about things you can control, because this world gets tough sometimes. And to make another sports analogy, when I coached football, and I also say this in track too, and I say this in the classroom to my students as well, is that there are some things you can control. You can't control how athletic you are. You cannot control your genes. If you're not very fast, if you're not very tall, if you're not very athletic, that's really out of your control for the most part. But what you can control is your attitude and your effort. You can choose to be positive even when it's hard to be. And you can choose to try really hard and give a great effort, even though you're not very athletic. And I'll tell you, I can think of countless athletes that I coached and people I played with who weren't the best athletes, but they gave a great effort And I admire them more than any of the best athletes I ever played with or coached. I really do. So if you're out there and you're wondering, how's this tie into all this, weather and all the pandemic and stuff, is you might be at home, you might be watching the news, you might be scrolling through social media, and you might see a lot of negativity. I have already, okay? But you don't have to be a part of that negativity. You don't have to be a part of that fear. You can choose, all right, to have a positive attitude, to look on the bright side, and you can do your best to make it work, to find ways to fight the boredom, like reading books or playing video games or doing your schoolwork, which shout out to my students who may be watching. They've done a great job of actually doing their work. I've really, really been impressed by that. So there you go. I'll be back again sometime, probably recording in my car because it's quiet. So I might also have some more reviews. I've watched some movies lately. Some were good, some were not so good. I really just enjoyed hanging out with my family and interacting with my students online and working on a book, another one, always writing books, all that stuff. So, I don't have what else to say. Guys, stay safe. Keep your social distancing. Like, do what the government is saying to do. I don't think there's conspiracy here. I really think, talking to people I know, the doctors that I know, and the medical people I know, that this is the legit thing, the right thing to do, is to stay safe. To keep that, flatten that curve, as they say. Flatten that curve like I'm trying to flatten my stomach by doing crunches every day. All right? It doesn't help when I eat a bunch of bad food, but whatever. Don't forget to like and subscribe, share this video, whatever. Thanks for watching, and God bless.